to, it said that the encoder was being overloaded. So I switched over to my GPU. And the only reason it wasn't on the GPU before is because sometimes when I'm trying to share my screen, it didn't display to OBS, but I'm not using screen share for this program. So anyway, I won't bore you with those details, but just make sure that Flowscape is also using the GPU. Yes, it is. Okay, good. All right, so hopefully this, I'm not running into any issues now, right? Okay. Respond to me the instant you see this message so I can test delay. That was a bad test because yes. Okay, try again, Mew Mew. Okay. Now it just changed my, I think it's good now. I just saw that come up. Okay. The map creation software has a knife and oh my god, why did you stab OBS 30 times in the chest? Seriously. Okay, so we'll try again, and if it doesn't work, now my CPU is dropped like significantly because before my CPU is handling the encoding, which is not really a very good mix. But yeah, let's see what happens now. Sham's 8th stream today. I know I'm gonna have to go back and clean up all this shit. It happens. It happens. Part of the learning curve, part of the growth process. All right. The only other thing I can think of if this doesn't work is to downscale the output to a lower resolution. Integrated graphics are still a piece of garbage. Yes, they are. They're absolutely garbage. I have a discrete GPU in this laptop, but I like I said, I wasn't using it typically because for whatever, I hate this about this laptop. It's a Asus Republic of Gamers. It's not a bad laptop. The hardware is good for what I paid for it. But the HDMI outs are inherently driven by the motherboard. I can't drive a second monitor from the GPU, which really sucks. So that means that anytime I'm trying to show a display on OBS, it won't show if it's driven by the GPU, which sucks. Let's be honest, you're only going to get 1080p 60 on the other sites. Twitch won't give you that. You're lucky to have transcoding, really. Yeah, no, I know. And I know they didn't roll out with that originally, too. So, okay. Let's see if this solves our ish. Here we go. Starting up Flowscape. Arena. Okay, yeah. If this doesn't work, Shed, I'll try to reduce down to 720p3. You 30. You and I have gone back and forth. I want to get it out there. I just feel like it's, I don't know. It's a fine line between the quality and I don't know. How do you guys feel about 720p 30 FPS quality on Twitch? Do people want to watch that? Have high velocity particles to catch? Yeah, that's true. Maybe I'm forcing myself into some shittier quality. For no reason, really. I see 1080p 60 and it's not lagging at all. Gotcha. CPU and GPU and OBS encoder have less work to do. Yeah. All right, let's try this. I'll at least drop it down to medium quality in the game. Actually, no, I don't want to do that thing. You know, when you're troubleshooting, you're supposed to just change small things at a time, not change a whole bunch of things. So, but you could do 720p 60 if the partners are munching the bandwidth. Yeah. With their high quality content. Can't tell the difference unless something like Warframe. Oh yeah, or game with bullet time. Yeah, I don't really play a lot of that. Okay, let's do this. Let's see. Stay with me. Here we go. Don't die on me. Okay. So far, so good. So mayhaps the encoder was the issue. Maybe the conflict with the encoder was the problem. Hey, keep your fingers crossed. I won't jinx it. But I'm optimistic, cautiously. Sweet. So really, it seems like the problem I'm going to have is I can't use display capture unless OBS has changed that too. But window capture seems a little bit better these days anyway. So far, so good. One time I once saw someone who wasn't even affiliate streaming 4K 60 with insane audio quality, and their stream was literally getting shredded into Swiss cheese as a result. Yeah, because the platform kicked the crap out of it, I guess. And you're right. Like if I'm bottlenecked by the platform, then I'm probably not gonna, stream a 4K 60 when you don't even have affiliate. Yeah, that is silly. And 4K is still pretty excessive these days. I don't want to punish my viewers too, right? Like not everybody has technology to support that. I think we're doing all right so far though, hey? All right, we might get this done today. Sweet. It's because these clouds come from YouTube to make the VOD look good. Yeah, they're more interested in the VOD. But that doesn't really play in an interactive setting, does it? All right, so here we are in Flowscape. I really do like this this utility. Like I said, it's $20 on Steam. Get rid of the snow. I always set up my palette by doing this. We can it kind of uses typical WASD controls to kind of fly around the map. So, what kind of map do you want to create? Stream looks like you should live viewers while you're on Twitch. Yeah, I agree. And that's why I'm on Twitch. That's why I stream, because I like the interactive. I like the back and forth. I like the real time, baby. You want a forest? Okay, let's do a forest setting. Any other inputs? Gang, feel free to speak up in chat as we go through, and I'll try and accommodate as much as I can while we make some random encounter maps that we can import into virtual tabletop settings or display on a live table map if you're using a TV, as I do. First of all, let's flatten this out a little bit. Let's get a little higher. Canadian humor for you. We're just going to flatten this out just a little bit. What do you guys use for map making? What kind of platforms, utilities, sites, things like that do you guys like to use? How about a forest next to the ocean? We could do that. A scary forest with a beach and stuff. Yeah, a scary forest with a beach stuff. Stone circle, altar. Okay. All right. Good ideas coming through already. Let's do a little forest next to the ocean action. So let's we got to push a little deeper into here to get into the water line. Okay, we're going to drive this right down like a forest floor or an ocean floor kind of thing. And we can drop the height until we get into sea level. Here we go. Okay. How do we do this? There we go. Well, that's a little too low. That might be a little too far below sea level. So there we go. This uses the Unity engine, I believe. Great little freemium development platform as well. Let's give us a little bit of a shoreline here. Maybe we'll do a little bit of beachfront kind of thing. So this map will end up being isometric. It won't, actually. It does have a true top-down view. It does have an ortho view. I'll show that to you very quickly. Like so. So I'm going to rotate that to match the view that we had. And we can even add a grid just as a guideline. So I usually do the design in 3D, and then shift it out to ortho just to fine tune it for VTTs, for tabletop use. Alter Photoshop. I used to use Photoshop. Well, yes, yeah, Photoshop. You remember, Shed. Like, I only had used display capture for Photoshop because Photoshop won't let you display the work area in a window, or OBS won't pick it up in a window, which sucks. No, I mean, actually, I don't even know if that's true anymore. That's kind of like the old way I used to make OBS do things that I wanted it to do. We have a bit of a there we go, bit of a dip there. Okay, so nope. Nope. Let's do this. We'll make the riverbed like so. We want like a bit of a grassy, like kind of a patchy, grassy forest floor. Just maybe just pick one of the presets first. Yeah, I usually start with it and then go for it. Lots of options in this program. Tons. So many assets. It's crazy. Might use Photoshop at some point to make maps. I like Photoshop, and that's where I started. So you have a little bit more flexibility over what you're doing with Photoshop. So that's always nice for sure. Welcome to the stream. If you're just joining us on Shambazzle Games, please do toss me a follow. We're making digital animated maps today, finally. After those few resilient soldiers in chat have stuck with me through the technical issues we had today. But we seem to be out of the woods, no pun intended, as we continue to make a forest setting digital map for play today. All right, so we've got our forest floor, our kind of, this is the base. It doesn't look very scary, though, does it? Maybe we should go with something a little bit more, slightly less cheerful. There we go. Oops. Recently, Photoshop has just been crashing on boot. Oh, that sucks. Oh, you got to take off, Mew? Well, thanks for hanging out. Don't be a stranger. Hopefully see you again soon. I am going to be adding some more streams throughout the week coming up, so be lots of opportunity to hang out. Thanks for all your help today and for sticking with us. And have a wonderful Saturday. Thank you for the follow, making it official. Welcome to the Checkmates, part of the crew. Good to have you on board, man. We'll look forward to the next time. Have yourself a wonderful Saturday, an amazing weekend. We'll hope to see you soon. Good luck with your gaming. Hopefully Photoshop stops being a dick to you, and hopefully technology will just learn to get along with us as humans in the near future. All right, so we got our base here. Next I would do is probably start to do some structures. So if we're going to do like an altar, we get to choose the scale of this, so we can actually, it looks pretty small in like a palette like this, or in a, I guess in a platform, tablet, tile, whatever you want to call it. So we can make this as big or as small as we want on the scale. So let's say that let's just pick a place for our altar and see if we can find out how we're going to make this. Let's try and plunk it down right here. I think we want it to be like inside the forest a little bit, but not too far in that adventurers don't have to travel through the decrepit woods to get there. So how are we going to make an altar / temple? Let's see, first of all, if we have some options to help us do that. Oh, we can fly out. These little kind of pre-baked 3D assets, which are pretty tremendous. Does any of this look like some kind of something that would belong in an altar type setting? And then, of course, we can shrink it. We make it smaller. So let's get in closer to the action here. So I think this is kind of the scale that this is the scale that I want to go for, right? I'm going to drop this on top of the surface. let's do something like this. Maybe a small kind of hovel here. What else? What does our little altar need? See if we can get some stonework in here. Who's got stonework for me? And really just needs to be something that kind of looks like an altar from the top down too, doesn't it? With using a tablet Photoshop. Oh, yeah. Talking about Photoshop troubleshooting. Stone slab or skull for altar. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'm sure we have some stone steps here somewhere. Where would those be? Show me stone steps. And we can always create them if there's not a good preset for it. We can definitely do some broken platformy type of tiles here. I like how they're actually kind of sunken into the ground. Well, there's our stairs. There we go. All right, we got stairs. What else do we need? We need a stone slab, right, to serve as the altar. Oh, hey, that could work too. That could work. We can play with that. Let me get over this a little bit more. Tweak this a little bit. Make these stairs a little bigger. What do you think? That work? All right, let's I don't like this. It looks a little too much like a bridge right now, right? In your adventure, you built a skull of a giant alligator. Nice, nice. All right, so we've got a nice little altar. We've got some stone steps leading up to it. Let's try and do something with the top of the altar a little bit. I don't like that it's a little too what's the word? Bridge like for May. See if we got something we can slap on top here. Maybe some more of those tiles. Some of those stone tiles, maybe. Stoned tiles. Where did I find that? Was that here? Really easy to make like towns and stuff like that. No, where was it? Where did I find that? I wish the menu selection was a little bit more turnkey in this, a little more fluid. If I could just open a menu and select from that rather than having to scroll through everything. Should use the castle wall top down. It will look more solid. We did see that, didn't we? That could work, hey? Like that. Let's try it. Let's try it. We fly down here so we can see what we're doing. Oops. That's what I want to do. Sorry, hopefully nobody gets motion sickness. There we go. And you're right. The key here is what it looks like top down. That's what we're really gunning for. Because that's what matters. Yeah, that kind of gets us. Woo, stop spinning. Gets us where we want to be a little bit. Like so. I think we get a little bit of overflow there. I didn't realize that orange border is actually showing me the end of the model. There we go. Yeah, that works. Or did you mean as a stone slab? Puke! I know. That'd be easier. If it had a selection window versus scroll, for sure. Do you think we should shrink this down a little bit to, give it more of like a presence of an altar on top of the thing? Like so. Right? That's what I'm thinking. Right? Like so. There we go. Okay. Sorry, I gotta tweak that position a little bit. All right. How's that for our altar on the stand? And then we want a skull on that altar, we were saying, if I am correct. I don't think I have the choice of just selecting a skull, unfortunately. But there may be something just like that. Or if we have a table with a skull on it, that could work too. Oh, so that's we have a couple of options that might help with the altar part of it. Come on, give us a skull. Oh, there's like a mounted deer head. Oh, a little brazier type thing. I like that. I don't get too far into the props in this game, in this program rather. So what I do with Flowscape usually is I build the base, and then I'll dress the set, and then I'll bring that into ArkenForge, and in ArkenForge is where I actually start to make it into a TTRPG map with animations and things like that too. Figured this is called Flowscape. Worship some big old skull. Yeah, I don't have one, unfortunately. I have a boat. We can put a boat here. That's not helpful. That's a 0 value response. Yeah, I don't see. I feel like we need. Whoops. I feel like we need these stairs on the other side too, eh? But there's an easier way to do that. I believe I can duplicate this. Is it Shift D? No. Shift Control D? No. What is it? What is duplicate? Oh, can I just copy and paste? There's a shortcut for duplicate. That's what I'm looking for right now. So it's a really cool kind of chill program if you just want to create something quick too and just mess around with it. It's a lot of fun for that. Also, I know actually as we're talking that they did bring in copy paste. So no, this is not letting me do anything. There we go. Okay. Can we just copy this? Yes, we can. Good. Well, that just makes sense, doesn't it? Okay. So we've got our altar. We've got our altar hidden here somewhere amongst the trees. What else do we need in this little altar area? Does this need a graveyard? Graveyards don't really go with altars, do they? Maybe some pillars? Maybe some broken pillars? Is there no search function for props? Not that I can see too deep, too readily available, Feargood, unfortunately. They delve too deep. And when he set eyes upon the Arkenforge, his mind was taken with greed. Arkenstone. Yeah, I think they've lifted part of the name. Cool menus. Dead trees, broken pillars, overturned carts. Yeah, let's see. Do we have broken down things like that? I have a couple like old pillar looking things that might work. But I thought we had some like broken stuffs. We do have, okay, so let's play with this because we do have carts. Obviously, this has a big cart thing, so. Oops. Why is it doing that? There you go. Stop it. There we go. Flying here. Where is cart? There's a cart. So here's a cart. We should be able to. Let's make this over here by the thing, right? And then we can do this. We can do this. That's pretty overturned to me. It kind of looks a little bit broken because it's smashed into the texture a bit there. So we'll drop that down. Like it's been buried over time. What do you think? Does that work? Open pill fit with dead vegetable virgins. Dark. Looks cool. The trees and stuff we'll get into in just a moment. In a momento. Now we might not have. We can probably have something that resembles a broken pillar. Let's turn up the big here. Or just rocks. What do we have here that might look like a pillar? These kind of look. Those look like broken pillars. Little monolith. Hey? Make that a bit bigger. Oops, that's what we're going to do. If we have something here that looks like a broken pillar. No. It's just rock formations. They're pretty cool, though. Oh, here we go. This could be a pillar. Yeah. Some broken pillars. And then we can make some fallen pieces. let's this is turning out, y'all. This is pretty sweet. Let's see if we can make this like it's kind of falling across the path a little bit. And this piece could be like it's crushed down. From the one above it. And we'll put some rocks, some rubble around it just to sell it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Need more of those tiles, I think. Yeah, here we go. Just going to adjust this a little bit, blend it. Nice. Getting there, huh? Yeah, looks cool. Like when you can alter rotate axis on each piece. Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely handy to add some customization to it. What happens in the forest stays in the forest. So they say. Build like a surrounding. Yeah, ambush. So me just downloaded it. Nice. Tell them in the comments where you saw it, and maybe they'll throw me like some, I know, a thanks or something. I don't know. I don't have any affiliation with any of these tools. Arkham Forge, I actually hooked up with the developers, and they set me up because I love the tool. So as you guys know, I don't really do ads or like position placement, things like that. But if I love something, then I'll share it with viewers. Absolutely. Pale Rider, welcome. We're building a random encounter map, actually, with some feedback from chat. So it comes into basically what this has turned into is kind of like a forest, an oceanside forest with an altar, an old kind of forgotten altar in it. So feel free to shout out if there's anything that you think we should add or we should see. Wow, how the fuck did all these stairs get over here? That was definitely not intended. Let's fix that real quick. Oh, I guess my duplicating short key did work. Good game. Yeah, it's a ton of fun. I like it a lot. All right, so we've got our setting here. Now we're going to add some trees and such. Maybe define a pathway from the beach to this altar. Let's see. So we want mostly like kind of dead, leaning trees. Let's get an eye for our scale first. What do we have that looks like kind of dead tree stumps and things? There we go. That works. Maybe go a little bit bigger. Especially in and around the altar itself. Maybe go a little smaller maybe for the outlying areas. Just kind of paint like so. Maybe the land around the altar has become desecrated. Until you get in here. Sorry, puke vision. I love, though, that you can fly around the scene. I can even drop into first-person view here and actually walk around it. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I should have like an affiliate code for Flowscape. Maybe I'll reach out to them. We'll show them this later. I'll say, hey, I sold one license. Right, Feargood? In my adventure, I had it be that a spell went off centered on the altar. Nice. Killed and eroded a 30-foot radius. Nice. We'll build that in Arkham Forge when we import or export this over there for animations and spell effects and things like that. All right, so we get our little altar. Let's go with some, let's see if we can find some other trees to kind of fill this out a little bit. Make it more forest-like on the outside anyway. And then we'll fill this in later. We'll make it thicker around the outskirts a little bit just to draw some kind of faux borders. Might add some different types of trees here. Kind of define a little bit of a worn path through the trees to the altar. So now because we've got some trees in here, I'm going to change the sun direction a little bit. Change the shadows. Make it a little higher in the sky so the shadows don't overwhelm the map, but they're still there. You probably can't see it until we get closer, but the trees are actually all animated as well. They have like a soft wind blowing through them. All right, so we have what may have once been a lush woodland setting desecrated by the altar and the evil demonic forces that reside therein, belied by this otherwise calm, peaceful beach. Now, we did say we wanted it to be oceanside, so we can change that as well. We can change the water bodies to ocean behavior, which will make this a little bit more, well, ocean-like, I guess. We want to lower the waves a little bit. We don't want it too aggressive. You know, I think we need to change the riverbed a little bit because that sand doesn't look right now, does it? The sandy beach thing doesn't really seem to scan, so let's see if we can. Yeah, there we go. Darken that a little bit. Should be like rock, basically, or shale. There we go. What do you think? Maybe not all conifers. Yeah. What do you think? We'll fill it out with some other types here. And we'll do some shrubbery too and some underbrush. Hello, Greens for Journaling. Google us. Welcome. Greetings from Germany. Indeed. Tag, wie geht's? My university Russian's probably, or university German's probably a little rusty. Welcome. Glad to have you on board. If you're just joining the stream, welcome. We're doing some digital map making today. We always do things that are Dungeons and Dragons related, usually. We always start with a little chat, get to know. I'm going to disable the ocean at the moment just because it does kind of kill the frame rate. but we'll put it back on before we start to record it. Or take our snapshot for the VTT, for the export version for our game. What else does this need? Cool how they grow in. Yeah, and you can change like the speed, the height, all that stuff too. All right. Well, if all you have is Douglas firs, then it's less altar, more Christmas tree parking lot sales. Yeah, I know. We get this. Good. I only catch some of that. Google us. Something about the program wrecking your CPU. That's doesn't really take a lot of German to pick those words out, I guess, does it? That's not very impressive. All right, let's do some shrubbery. Fill this out a little bit. Where you can worship your demonic deities and do your Christmas tree shopping. Yeah, we're not going for too much realism, I guess, in the ecosystem here, are we? Maybe we'll put some rabbits around, too. We can paint in some shrubbery to fill, some foliage. And of course, the more models we put on the map, the shittier the frame rate gets. But what you gonna do? Doesn't matter. It just needs to be an image ultimately, right? Random encounter with Krampus. Yes. Random encounter with Krampus. Waiting for your Kingdoms of Kalimar campaign session to begin. Nice. What setting is that? If you're just joining us, if you're enjoying the stream and you're so inclined, please throw me a follow. I'd greatly appreciate it. Join the Checkmates. Be one of us. Be part of our merry crew who share and find in our love of the tabletop role-playing games. I have a specific focus on Dungeons and or Dragons. Google. Is it Googlelos or is it Googlelos? Welcome either way to the Checkmates. Thank you very much for the follow, making it official. Appreciate you. Glad to have you on board today. Thanks for joining the stream and doing so just in time to see us destroy an otherwise flourishing forest with a demonic altar, like you do, right? I mean, is that not the natural path of things? I feel like I'm fighting the urge to put like any kind of flowers or too much color in here because I think it's really taken a dark twist, which I like. We can make it snowy. There you go. now it is turning into a Krampus encounter. Oh yes, Kalimar 3.0, 3.5. I have a few just passed the Atlas off to a fellow DM. Nice. Settings called Kingdoms of Kalimar. Oh, the setting is Kingdoms of Kalimar. Gotcha. Sorry, I need to learn to read chat from the top down, not the bottom up. Because that doesn't make any sense, does it? It ruins the continuity. Yeah? Disable tree animations since a still image won't even show anything. Yeah, no, I know. But I will eventually record this and bring it in as an animated map too. On that note, I've been trying to make that work in Roll20, and they now just allow you to import MP4s, but they convert them to web media, I guess. And the quality is really shit when it renders. So I don't know if there's another way to do animated maps in Roll20 without using the Roll20 enhancement suite, because then I have to get my other players to install it as well. And they're not, I don't want to put them through too much technical trouble, if you know what I'm saying. You catch my meaning? Does Astral do animated maps, Chad? Like the web browser Google plus Los Muertos. Googleos. Googleos. That sounds more fluid, doesn't it? That rolls off the tongue a little bit easier. Googleos. Well, welcome. And thank you for joining. And thank you very much for the follow. Appreciate it. Troll Witch Doctor. Do like that. I do like that. What else do we need here, gang? Are we good? Are we good to export this bad boy? Saw a stream about it. Astral's cute for maps, but shit for gameplay because you have to script the character sheets and dice in HTML and JS yourself. Yeah. And that's beyond my level of expertise or interest. Looks like a great base. Nice. So let's try something else. So we're gonna save this first of all. We'll go ahead and save it in one of my blocks here. Okay. Let's take a look at the top-down view of the map. Now that we got it, pretty much where we want it. I want this to play out. I think this makes sense from like a top-down zoom type deal. And then we'll just prepare to screenshot this. We'll do it across a couple and then we'll stick them together. That I think is the way. Shem, why do your players have to download anything? For you have this program, use Discord, make a call, and screen share this to them. That's true, but all the campaigns are in Roll20 though. I do get where you're driving at though. This is the way. Okay, let's see what happens when we do a we bring that oceanic treatment back in here. Okay. Let's see. Just line this up. So the beauty of this is when we build this to scale, we can really kind of get a couple of maps from it. We get a couple of encounter maps from it altogether. There's the bottom. So we're going to screenshot this. Okay. And then I'm going to work my way up to the bottom of the map, or where the bottom of the map was. I'm just using a visual cue to try and line it up. Takes a little while. But looking at possibly World Anvil. Yeah, World Anvil is very popular also. Our Calamar campaign is an extreme sandbox Pathfinder adaptation. Nice. I would like to play a Pathfinder. I'm not terribly familiar with the setting, with the Pathfinder system. But it has a lot of fans. A lot of my friends really enjoyed it too. Roll20 can house all the character data, just ignore its maps. Yeah, that's true, actually. But what are we losing then? Yeah, you can still roll, and I guess tokens then would be the only challenge, but we can bring those in easily enough. That's an interesting prospect, actually. I might have to play around with that. So I'm going to come up to the visual cue that I have for the top of the last map, but there's going to be a little bit of overlap, which is not a bad thing. Oh, looks like we have enough to just do it across 2 screenshots. So we'll do this one here. Take another screen. Excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. And then we're going to get out of here. Save it. Save the final. There we go. And we're going to quit this action. And I'll see you at the bar. So now that we've got our map created, let's get caught up with chat a little bit real quick here. Please don't say PF Pathfinder 2e. You want to try out 2e as a disgrace? Oh, really? That's the newest one though, right? Use Pathfinder 1 rule set. Yeah. Foundry VTT is another one, Chad. Again, I'm reading chat from bottom to top. I don't know why I insist on doing that. So a few adventures in the campaign world of Kalmar. Nice. Kingdoms of Kalmar. Googleos, Josh. Googleos, I use all sources at my tables, whatever's in print anywhere. I have little trouble importing into a game. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, you can always adjust it, I guess, if needed. So then Discord, not OBS, takes all the burden of the video feed. And Discord can properly display capture so the players can't see your notes. Yeah, that's interesting for when you bring OBS into it. Josh Bethlehem is a join the masses. They were just fine. Yeah, I see. So 2E is too much like 5E. Gotcha. Do you think they were like creating a contender to try and fight? They're better being their own entity. Yeah, and I think that's what made it attractive to people, right? Who wanted something that was still fantasy rooted or had its beginnings in fantasy, but also offered something significantly different. Yeah. And then it all went sour. You see, it was no good. You hear? So it seems like what happened, what worked today is I changed my GPU over to my NVIDIA card, which is what it should have been the whole time. And that was a little bit funky previously with OBS, but I guess they fixed that too. They seem to have fixed a lot of things, which is really nice. So I'll just keep it on my GPU sitting, which seems to be good. Seems smooth. Everything's working for you folks. Hopefully. Did I change anything else? I don't think I changed anything else. That's it. I just changed the encoder, which makes sense. It makes sense that that's a thing that would work. Sweet. Where else? We're getting super techy here today. Shad 2E isn't like a 5E. Keep your modern RPGs the hell away from me, 2E. Shad doesn't like 5E. I think. I get the sense. Chat smooth, visual smooth too. Best so far. Splendiferous. Wonderful. Welcome to the stream as well if you're just joining us on this fine Saturday or a Saturday. We're glad to have you. I'm glad to have you. I'm glad to see you here. I hope your Saturday is being good to ya. I just have to make sure that everything else is kind of off-ish here. Cool. So far, so good. All my monitors were like not refreshed. So they were showing a whole bunch of weird stuff from earlier today. But that's cool. The best part is when you don't do anything and then somehow it just stops working. That's the best. That's my favorite kind of technical issue. The problem be the export. That will probably tank sham CPU. Well, I mean, yeah, I'm not really doing an export like that. An export. I just did the screenshots and I pulled those. So I'm actually going to pull those up now. Right, meow. I just don't remember where they go. Where do they go? Where do screenshots go when they leave the map making software? I need 100 followers on YouTube to change the random link name. What the hell? Yeah, I guess that'll come later. Yes. You need 100 subscribers before they will let you secure your actual name in the URL. It's kind of annoying. Yeah, that's annoying. Like literally every other platform just lets you do it because, it's your name, I guess. Silly. It's just silly. Oh, I remember where it goes. It's because it's a Steam program. It goes into the Steam folder because there's no Flowscape folder. Bear with me. There it is. There you are. I got you now. You will pay for your indiscretions. All right, here we go. 1, 2. I'm going to copy these, pull them out so you can't see this. But what I'm doing in the background is just finding those screenshots we made. And I'm bringing them into a better place to work with them from. And that place is going to be my maps folder, which makes sense. If you think about it, that's what really makes sense. We'll put them in the Flowscape folder here. Now let's see. Yeah. Excuse me. Let's bring this into ArkenForge. I'm not really sure how that's going to work. So again, bear with me if we have any technical difficulties, but I don't anticipate any. First of all, I just want to make sure that I'm also using the GPU for that. Don't know why people sub to you there. I have nothing new to upload on YouTube. Don't complain. Take the subs. In our Calamar campaign, it's so sandboxed that if you want to learn spells as a fighter in game, you can do that. You can create your own custom spells in our own custom magic items, like what NPCs of ours has. A farting chair. Makes sense? Looks like there's room enough behind the bar for another visitor to chat with us. Yes, there is. There's always room at the bar. There's always room at the bar. Or like I said last stream, step up to my wood. Oh, I'm going to go ahead and get a temporary suspension for that. Well, I guess so. Let me make sure ArkenForge is also on the GPU. I believe it is. It's the Master's Toolkit. Whatever. We'll worry about that later. Let's just see if it works first, shall we? Okay, I'm loading up ArkenForge right now. Hopefully this doesn't kick the shit out of things either. But we won't know until we try it. So far, so good. So far, so good. I also don't think this one is as resource intensive. So ArkenForge is more of like a dungeon builder. It's more of like a world building tool, and in fact, it has some really great tools to keep track of your campaign also. So in the conversation we were having earlier about Dungeon Master notes and campaign notes, things like that, there's an entire segment of the tool that has that available to you for keeping notes, keeping track of your campaigns, keeping track of quests, missions, whatever you want to call them. And then, of course, there's the map making tool, which is the flagship of the program. And in that, you can import visuals, images, videos, all kinds of stuff. And then you can dress them with further props, more animations, lighting effects. It has day-night cycles. It has soundscapes, sound effects. Really robust. It's a great kitchen sink campaign planning tool, and I like it a lot. So that's what we're going to show you next when we bring the map that we just created in Flowscape into ArkenForge. Looks like the guy that made the Wendy's just left the RPG scene and went over some furry Reddits instead. I will take your word for that. Google us. That's how it should be. Yes, yeah, absolutely. It should be pretty. You should be able to, use your imaginarium. Game Master's fault. I still get 1 to 3 subs a week on YouTube. I haven't been able to put out a video in a year. I don't understand that. I pump out content all the time, and I get like one or two here and there. Before the flip, I was monetized and had 10 years of live games. Yeah, me too. Where they changed all that stuff. I had like 50,000 views. I was able to monetize my videos. They just changed that now too. You need 1,000 subscribers in order to be able to monetize your videos. So otherwise, Google's just like, thanks for the content. That's cool. 10 years of live games at FLGS recorded on there. Nice. That's work, man. Just it's so nice. It's so awesome when you just make an extra dimensional cloud castle at Googleos. I agree. That sounds pretty sweet. Game Master's Fall. You probably get more views that way. Play videos don't do the best from everything I've seen. I agree. Like actual play is a weird beast in the space. I find like if you're not in like the top 1%, let's say for argument's sake, they don't draw a lot of viewer base. Actual play podcasts seem to do a little bit better on the other hand. Google's Josh, I built a mechanics system 0 to 100 plus levels of play. Yep. Josh has done some really great work on a custom system that he's building too. So speaking of world building and system building, that's because people don't want to see gameplay. Yeah, I think there's merit in that. I think there are a lot of people who do enjoy watching gameplay, but they're not like in the thousands or anything like that. Yeah, unless you're like Critical Role. Exactly. Critical Role is a show. I agree with that 100%, Shadzar. That's the thing. Critical Role is not a stream, it's a show. It's heavily produced. They do a great job of it. I think it's a great product. I especially like what they've been doing since they've been doing their own thing. So I'm happy for them in that regard. But it's a show. It's not like a bunch of people sitting around streaming playing a game. Just like How We Roll or not How We Roll, like High Rollers or some of those folks. They're produced like they are baked entertainment. We got some. There we go. Community building. That's what it's all about. I like how you think. You're a good soldier. I endorse that. Josh has been a standard as well. Yeah, we got some great folks here at Googleos, yourself included. Exactly. Gameplay becomes more a TV show. Yeah, it's like a spoken drama kind of thing, right? I've always said D&D is like golf. Golf is fun to play, but boring as hell to watch. Same with D&D. I have to be honest. I will be producing an actual play on Twitch, but I don't watch a lot of actual play on Twitch. It's just the way I look. I mean, there's a market for it for sure. I'm just not that market. I'm a content producer, and it's rare that you have the time to do both unless you're doing it full time, which I'm very much not. This is a weekend hobby for me at best, which sucks because I'd love to do it all the time. It's not sustainable in my world, unfortunately. So much matches that outnumber more normal players 3-2, taken over to be drama classes or whatever, performers, not gamers. Yeah, I think there's merit in that too. You see a lot of people focusing on like drama, improv, and the performance of it. You see a lot of players referring to themselves as cast members more than players. I think it's just because it's easier than auditioning. It is. If you're actually in the entertainment industry and you audition and you might have an agent, you might not. You've gone through the headshots, you've gone through the auditions, you've gone through the cattle calls. Then it's interesting when you see people playing D&D online refer to themselves as actors, performers, and I'd be interested to hear how trained actors who go through the rigor of the audition economy speak to that when you see let's even say like an It Me JP or any of those people refer to themselves as actors, let's say, because I think there's a very different beast there for sure. Shows are fun. I love Acquisitions Inc. and older Chris Perkins play. Yeah, like I said, there's a market for it, right? Like it's entertainment at the end of the day. Perform for your players, not to a streaming audience. Game is but greater than streams. I agree with you there. And as somebody who's streamed gameplay for a long time, I always found that when the stream began to take away from my ability to produce a quality gaming experience for my players, that's when I stopped doing it. I think you do a great streaming game. It's when you try to fit that template they think you have to follow. Yeah, I dig deep and just find average people playing. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Kriznachek got almost 12 views at highest. Yeah, that's true. Our no headshots or additions. I like to watch a player discover their character and not try for the casting. Yeah, exactly. Like some people try to. I think what people enjoy watching most when it comes to gameplay is people like them playing a game that they enjoy, unless it's intentionally like a produced entertainment show like Critical Role. Um, then it's just a different game. They're not apples to apples, right? Yeah, when I was running Charisma Check, so I started live streaming Charisma Check before a lot of people were doing it. There were not a lot of people doing it in the space. This was kind of like even D&D streaming was relatively new to Twitch, and that was only about 3-4 years ago. And we got some really good uptake. We had a lot of really great traffic and activity, but the most concurrent viewers I had on that show were like maybe 12 to 20. Meanwhile, my D&D talk, like my DM streams, my DM Ask a DM and stuff like that about the game, those would go between like 30 to 40 sometimes over the weekend. So to make a show from a game, you can't be a one-man studio. CR has a bunch of stands. Yeah, Sham nearly killed himself trying to stream as a show. That's true. Exactly, yeah, and that's why I pulled away from a little bit. Yep, exactly. Well said, Shad. That's exactly it. The gameplay stuff I prefer to do in a recorded format because it lets me take it away, do it on my own. When I'm recording the content, I can focus on the game, and that's really nice. My games were casted at the FLGS. I had 200 random players a week, which is beastly on its own. I had tables with unique content all over. When we streamed, it was just us. Jordan's Rod of 7 parts is great right now. That's good. Keep it fun first. I always tell people that. And if you're looking at streaming or producing content, you got to focus on the thing you're doing. Don't focus on the views. Don't focus on the downloads, any of that stuff, the subscribers, the followers. You can't get tied up in that because that is the road to heartache, and then you'll overextend, you'll become exhausted by it, and you'll give it up. Do whatever you love because you love it. That's the only way to make it successful. Google Oswald, our campaign is awesome, but I can't get it. It can get a little chaotic, like when a player uses blood magic without training on a door that's extremely loaded with necromantic magic. That sounds fun. Also, a D&D game, you can't ignore your chat. Yeah, that's right. Well, that's the thing. Like, people tune into Critical Role to watch Critical Role, right? There's a reason they don't stop every 5 minutes and answer questions in chat. Because there's 60,000 people in there, but what did you say if you're one of those can't interact with chat while playing? Yeah, that's right. And that's why I like this format a lot better for Twitch. I think I've finally found the mix that works for me. I used to try and stream everything, like Shad was saying. That was the problem. It was like, stream it. If I'm doing it, it needs to be streamed. Especially, and I tried that with Speaking Common when I first started doing that too, the D&D news. But it was me delivering the news to people who are kind of watching, and I wasn't able to really interact like this. So now we bring Speaking Common into this stream, but it's only like an hour, and that just cuts down the time it takes me to produce it. And that's why I do it in the first hour when things are a little lighter, people are just waking up. So when people are in stream by around 12:30, then we're doing interactive stuff, and I like that. That's why I'm still on this screen, actually, because like I said, I just opened Arc and Forge, it's ready to go, but we're chatting, right? And that's my approach to D&D as well. Like, a lot of DMs, myself included, I had the habit of trying to force the game on my players. So you got players sitting around your table, you're playing D&D, everybody's laughing and having a good time, but as a DM, you're like, okay, I want to start the game. And the instinct is to interrupt that and get into the game, right? But realistically, D&D is about sitting around a table having fun with your friends, right? So if there's a pause in the game and everybody's laughing their asses off, having a great time and chatting, then you're still running a good session, even if you only get through one page or a half page of your adventure. I stopped getting worried about like how much of my content we were going through, because it really makes the thing about you as opposed to the table. And I don't regret making that shift, because it's much better when you make it about the experience that everyone's having. And I think streaming is just like that too, right? If I'm on a intro IRL chat screen with a bar up and we're chatting and having some great interaction back and forth in chat, I'm not like gonna say, well, I have to stick to my programming schedule. You know what I mean? I'm not a broadcast network. I'm here to hang out with you guys. Josh, I had 256 adventures I wrote per season, usually 53 game sessions, 10 unique league groups. That's an army, man. You are managing an army. Critical Role is an outlier. That's true. Yeah, the Critical Role is the lightning in a bottle, right? And every armchair DM is trying to recreate that, right? Like, we're the next Critical Role, but like, don't be the next Critical Role. You will only ever be second to the real thing, right? Go out and do your own thing. Make it yours. People will come to see you. And actually, Shad gave me that advice when I was starting out. It's like, hey, people come because they like, what you're doing, not necessarily the thing you're using or the thing you're focused on, Same thing. And gaming streamers, video game streamers, variety streamers are a great example of that, right? Like, if you have somebody playing Dark Souls is going to be the same on every stream because that's the game, right? Why do you watch one streamer play Dark Souls over another streamer? Because of what they bring to it, right? Or whereas the DM presses some event where there's no ticking clock and the players just want to fart around in the bar and shop and chatting with the locals. Exactly. Like, if that's what they're having fun doing, just be there with them, be in it with them. Josh, I made sure the special events were kept just that special. Private play and unstreamed need that happy balance. Yeah, you get burnt out, pressure creating without having room to be creative. Absolutely, not clock time. Oh, for sure. I know we think similarly that way too. That's good. Training DMs. I don't come for 5e. That's for sure. Yeah, exactly. No, I know that. We're aware. And that's the thing. I have a focus on D&D and a focus on D&D 5e just because I say that because that's the system I know, not because I'm married to that. It's just I can only pick one. I only have time to really focus on one. But the stuff we do here is pretty transferable, right? We talk about like GM culture and map making, and that applies to any TTRPG. And I like that. I like keeping it there. Although the Speaking Common D&D news is pretty D&D 5e and D&D centric. But that's why I only keep it to a small fraction of the stream. And on top of that, also a good lich. They came for me, I found out, so I still get a ton. Yeah, it came for you. Yes, of course. So I still get a lot of fill-in requests for special events. Awesome. Yeah, exactly. It's what you bring to the table. So that said, I'm going to force on you... what I want to do. No, that's not true. But let's pop back over here and see if this will work properly. Just like this. So this is Arkham Forge, the Master's Toolkit. And what this is designed to do... Hey, actually, it just occurred to me we didn't really have any issues with the stream, did we? Nothing capsized. Cool. That's something to be happy about. We just chill and wait for the next phase. Exactly. Wait for the right cue, Your audience will tell you when they're ready to do something else. I made the mistake when I first started streaming of feeling like I always had to fill everything, and I was like, "Oh shit!" Like, if nothing worked properly, or if I ran into the technical issues that I had this morning a year ago, I would still be flustered. I probably would have canceled this stream. Just gotta chill and be in it. You can't try too hard. You know what I mean? And you're only in competition with yourself. That's a big gripe I have too in social media content community in general. Not everybody, a lot of people feel like they're in competition with one another, right? There's this very cloak and dagger approach to it, but it's not. Like, no one out there is going to take anything from me. I'm not going to take anything from anyone else. I've always been of the mind where if we share things that work for us and other people use them, then we only build the community up, and that forces me to elevate my game. There are players out there who like to keep everything close to the vest, right? Like, I can't tell you my secrets because then you'll know how to do them. But isn't it more engaging to think about like how you can share those and then elevate and get to the next and share those too? Then you're leading community rather than being fearful of the community. Sham 2017. That's right. Sham 2020. That's accurate. That's an accurate recanting of my evolution through Twitch emojis. Josh, I actually put new DMs into those situations. Mystery player that get to play with me there for support. Yeah, they really cut through that ice, so to speak. Good. Yeah, it's a good way to guide somebody into it too, right? Because they know that they have a support system to lean on. Googleos, we also have some God Phoenix PCs that got transformed by eating each a half of the ashes of the first god. Nice. That's pretty creative. Folark. Folark or Folarch? All right, let's jump into it here. We'll start with the cartographer. That's what we're gonna use primarily here with Arkenforge, and we're gonna start a whole new map. We're gonna call it. Let's call it like Forest Altar. It doesn't have to be that creative. It just needs to tell me what the map is at a glance so that we can see it. I'm going to put this in my random encounters folder. And we'll put it in the forest folder as well. Sure, why not? So, and then we're going to jump in here, which of course is a blank map at the moment. Now, I haven't used this in a little while, so I'm going to have to remind myself how to do it. We're going to the palette. I'm going to grab a color. We're going to take green, and what this is going to let me do is just kind of plot out the size of the map. Now, I usually make my maps 37 by 21. That's the size of the TV I stream to in my table game. So we'll do that. I'll just do 37 across. It's going to show me, just give me a working space for the map. Then I'm going to import the map, the screenshots that I had. Now, typically I would record this as a movie and bring it in as a movie so we get the animations. But in this case, I'm just happy this software is working with me on stream, so I'm not going to mess with it too much. And actually, I should have, you know what, I'm going to do this a little bit differently. I'm going to rename these so you can see how I work through this. We'll call this Forest Altar 1 and Forest Altar 2. Okay, so when I go ahead to import this, I have this saved because I always import from this folder. We're going to pull Forest Altar 1 in here. So we'll start there. Right. Gives me, now I can size it to the map that I have here. So I'll have to make some tutorials about these, how to use these tools as well, because there's a slight learning curve. Slight learning curve with Arkenforge. It's a great tool, though. I'm going to change the grid settings here. Let's do, yeah. Change the transparency a little bit there. Actually, let's hold off on that because it occurred to me that I've got to put this on the map layer. So this goes with the terrain layer, which puts it behind the grid, which is exactly what we want. All right, so we got this kind of size. Now I'm just going to delete this because I don't really need it anymore. We'll move this. There's a way to snap it to the grid, I think. Yes. No, that's not it. There we go. Snap that to the grid. Okay. We need to make it slightly bigger. How's that? That's a bit better. Okay. Now we will move this up and we'll bring in the second image, the second part. like so. Force Alter 2. Oops, we still want that centered. Let's big it up, bro. Center that. Size it accordingly and appropriately. Okay. Now we know that there was some overlap here, so we got to fix that, right? First of all, let's put this down on the terrain layer. Typically, I would bring these into Photoshop and I would do this there, but I'm going to punish myself today, so sure. Oops. So let's just match it up like so. There we go. Does that look good? What do you think? Are we aligned there? No weird seams or anything? Okay, we're going to lock this. We're going to lock this. Just so we don't inadvertently move it around. Now we can just double check, make sure we don't have any weird seams. Okay, now we have a nice big encounter map, right? So let's make sure it's sized properly. This looks pretty good. This is the scale we want. Fairly large map. And here's our altar in the middle of the trees, right? So we're working from a pretty good place right now. Yeah? All right. Oh, you're starting, Googleos. I'm sorry if I missed you. If you're still there, have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy your game. Thanks for joining us. Thank you very much for the follow. Welcome to the Checkmates. Happy gaming. And we'll hope to see you again real soon on another stream, my friend. Enjoy. Yeah, sharing is the best. I agree, Josh. This program looks cool. Brad's got all the cool stuff. I source the cool toys, and I share them with y'all so you can get the goods. It's smooth. Love multi-optional, multi-use programs. I'll have to get more familiar and show the other aspects of this tool, like the campaign planner. There's a lot of really great things. So amazing. Now this program is deep. Give me all the options. I say yes. Step-by-step tutorials on both these programs. Yeah, you're right. I think I should be doing more of that for sure. I want to reach out to the creators because I like seeing, hey, look, I'm not asking for a handout. I've already bought the program, so I'm down, right? Like I'm already here, so how can I help, promote and stuff? So it's fun times. The beauty of this with a map this size, we can import it into Roll20 and really probably get like a couple of uses out of it if we want to. So you get like a number of encounter maps in one. That look nice. They they're well treated. They look pretty good. The effects are nice. The things are good. The nice is good. The nice is nice. When we get into the, I might in future then export these at a higher resolution because we did use the medium resolution for this one. But now if I wanted to do things like, let's say I want to go ahead and search some objects. So let's say we want that skull that Josh mentioned earlier, right? So now I've got layer 1. I want to do skull. Let's look at all content. So we've got different skulls here. You can buy a variety of packs to help make this accessible to you. Here's a nice kind of like ritual looking skull thing here. Get those creators in on it for sure. Yeah. Yeah. And the Arkham Forge team have been really great. They're a little Aussie based group. They're really, really friendly, super passionate. They do great work, obviously. So maybe we want this kind of here, like. Now my only gripe with this is I've got to blend it a little bit, right? So we can go in here, we can change the opacity slightly just to change the hue, make it seem more like it's part of the scenery. Adjust the saturation a little bit. And then I usually I find them a little bit bright by default, so I'll change the darkness a bit. So when we get in here, now we've got a nice skull on the map. I'm going to show you something that's really cool that I love about this. No matter what you import your map into the tool, into the program. Then we go into lighting, dynamic lighting. We can go, let's make it dusk. Literally adjusts everything. Let's make it night. early morning. Awesome. Just a slider for the time of day, and it works really beautifully. The reason this is doubly cool is because when we add soundscapes, let's say if we want to do a pre-packed soundscape, let's say we want to do, where's a Nightmare Castle? Desert ruins. It's got to be some kind of like forest ruins here, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, forest ruins. Okay. So let's say we use the forest ruins daytime soundscape. If we look into soundscape, we can play with all these sounds here. But I won't get too far ahead on that. Let's go back to the map. And now when we change the time of day, so this is a daytime soundscape. So we move it to a daytime, and it'll bring the soundscape in for us. Right? Isn't that cool? Music in it too. Yeah. So you got like music and stuff. I don't know about the cheerful birds chirping, but there you have it. Just set that back to none for now. So it comes with these really great soundscapes. You can create them their own. If you do use podcasts, I actually use the soundscape tool in this as a soundboard for my podcast. Right, sorry, it was a little bit loud. It may have been a little aggressive. I hadn't tested the volume on that before showing it off, but yeah. So you can actually use the soundscape as a soundboard. There are tons and tons of sound effects as well, all very reasonably priced from the creators. Yeah. So let's get back into building props for our little mappage here. Now let's say we want this to be. We will hopefully have this kind of like a dusk type setting. And let's say we want this to emit some kind of light. We'll go into lighting. We'll make it a light source. And we can actually adjust the radius. So let's say we want this to be a 2. And let's say we want the light color to be different. Let's say we want it to be like a little red. A red glow. We'll just leave the drop shadow on it. Okay, so this skull now has a red glow, and as we drop it deeper into night, it will continue to emanate that red glow, which I think is super cool. People use it a lot in Fantasy Grounds. They use Arkham Forge a lot. Good, I'm glad to hear that. It's a nice tool. Or you mean the dynamic lighting in general? Make the grid a little more transparent here, so it's a suggestion of a grid. Actually, maybe we should just go with classic black here. Yeah, let's go with classic black. Yeah, that's good. I like the grid to be just really subtle so it doesn't take away with the aesthetics of the map itself. Moondog, hello to you, my amazing friend. Welcome back to the stream. Good to see you. Josh, okay, I'm ready to run the adventure with this map. Zero prep. That's right. The triggers for cues, audio's built in. Oh, soundscape. Gotcha. Yeah, they use the soundscape. Yeah, good to see you too. Welcome back. Doing some digital map making. As you know, my digital map making suite is constantly evolving. And now we're playing with a couple of new tools using Flowscape and Arkenforge to kind of create that. So yeah, that's where we're at today. Welcome back. Good to see you. What's new in your life? Hopefully things are treating you well. What do you think? What kind of lighting do we want to use here? I think maybe a little brighter than that. Just a touch. Just like so. That way we still get these lighting effects happening, which is kind of neat. So now we got our skull. We've got our altar. What else do we need here? I like this little kind of table dressing too. Let's see what happens when we place this guy. Maybe we can make this work for us. Some kind of ancient relic that sits adorned on the altar. Change the opacity a little bit. We'll just blend it in. Change the make it a little darker. There we go. Neat looking little altar, I think now. Just say use Discord or your own soundboard. Offer you have after you've made your sounds. Yes, I can't read apparently too. Can you put triggers to locations too, like if they explore the skull? You mean like animated triggers or like notes, like prompts? Because I don't think that you can put triggers in. Not that I know of just yet. I don't trust Roll20 with audio or video. No, me neither. 60,000 for a decent library. Oosh. Use other sounds and video from offsite. I have not happy with the options or freedom in Roll20. They've changed some of that though. Like I've been able to bring my own music in, but not maybe not sounds. I haven't used their soundscapes much. I haven't used their GIFs or their built-in video library either. I've tried to import my video, like we were saying, like animated maps, and they don't really work very well. I hope I think the community would love for Roll20 to get on board with video maps because that's kind of the future of it, and they're dragging their heels a little bit. All it's going to take is for a VTT to do that well. And the folks at Arkham Forge are actually building this into a full VTT, so that's kind of the direction they're going in. Josh, both pop-up screen effects or sound effects or sounds, even pop-ups. Yeah. I don't know, Josh, honestly. I don't know if you can do that yet. I don't want to say it can't because I feel like I don't know the tool well enough. It might be in there somewhere to create. So let me play around with it a bit more, and if I come across it, then I'll definitely let you know. I know you can add like notes and things like that. Yeah. So now that we're in here, what else do we need in our altar? What do you guys think? Was on an early stage developing before it got going for Roll20. Yeah. Check back. Yeah, Roll20 has evolved a good bit, but it's still has a little way to go. Tailspire's way ahead. Problems Wizards won't allow D&D to adjust everything. Yeah, that's true. Roll20 and Fantasy Ground definitely have most of the official endorsement for D&D content. And of course, they're the 800-pound gorilla right now, aren't they? All right, so once we're finished with our map, actually, I feel like I still want to do a little more stuff with this. Maybe we can do like a little burning brazier here. Let's see. Oh, that works. Are any of these animated? Perhaps not. I like this one though. Let's go with let's go with this. I'm gonna stick it right here, kind of like a torch, like a pylon, so to speak. Let's kind of bake this into the setting a little bit. Oops, that's opacity. That's not what I wanted. Oops, not 1,000%. There we go. Okay, so we got a little brazier going here. Well, let's add some flame to that. And we'll do some animated fire. Animated fire. There we go. Let that animate. I mean, it makes sense that there should be a burning brazier at a haunted altar, right? It's like the Epic Game Store. 902 PE Gaming, welcome to the channel. Thank you very much for the follow, making it official. Welcome to the Checkmates. We're doing some live digital animated map making today with the community. Always interactive, always back and forth. So we've had the community influence this map. I don't know if you've been watching or how much you've seen. Hello. Thanks for joining us. A pleasure to have you. Don't be shy. Don't be a stranger, of course. We're going to add some lighting now to this, which makes sense because it's fire. Let's see now when we turn down the light. If we go into like nighttime, we still have this really kind of cool radiant effect. But let's bring it up just a notch. And now we have animated flames. Sweet. Was watching via the Twitter vid link, then realized we were on Twitch. Yes, well, thank you. Welcome. Glad to have you on board. And before Sham gets converted to CC3. What's CC3? Lore book perhaps gathered for the altar. Oh, lore books. Yes, nice. Let's do it. Put some books on here. Get some literature. Let's see. This has a great search function. This is the search function I wish Flowscape had. Some books. Sure. Of course we can have some books. We can do what we want. It's Dungeons and or Dragons after all. We will do what we choose. There we go. Make this a little darker. Whoever was here before took care of their books, I guess. It's a little funky, doesn't it? There we go. Or do you think you mean like one book on a pedestal kind of thing? So Campaign Cartographer 3, your weapon of choice. But this looks dope. Thank you. I haven't really gotten into Campaign Cartographer. I will check it out. Campaign Cartographer, yes. I wonder. I'll have to take a look. I get lots of great insights from this community. It's always fun to discover new things. Ooh, here's a decrepit lectern with a book. What do you think? What you think of that, Josh? A dirty, dirty lectern before the fire. You dirty lectern, you. You dirty lectern, you. The dirtiest of lecterns. What am I even talking about right now? I don't know. There we go. We can turn off the drop shadow. I usually like to turn it off. I prefer to do my own, if that makes sense. And then we'll darken it, of course. We'll blend it in a little bit as we have been doing. This just kind of makes it feel a little bit more part of the map as opposed to like an animated prop that's just been dropped on there. And then I actually do use a color. I do my own shadows. I don't want to brag, but I do. I do my own shadows. Bring it way down here. Let's do that. The softest of brushes. And then we just want to do like this is kind of, here we go. There, perfect. And then we just change the opacity here to make it a little more shadow-like. There we go. Just give it a little bit of depth. And then I'll usually lock it and the prop together. What say you? Drop bonus streams, happy to give you a tour. Absolutely, 902. I would love to do that. Really grooving on the animations. Thank you. Yeah, and I haven't. These are great for exterior maps and random encounter maps like that. I enjoy it a lot, but I'm looking forward to doing a proper dungeon on stream too. That's really fun. We could build rooms and put in torches and all kinds of set dressings and things like that. So maybe next time we do a map making stream, we'll do something like that. But otherwise, there you have it, my friends. A little random encounter palette. We can chunk out big parts of this. Like, you don't have to use it all, right? You don't have to serve it all as a map. You can use part of it as just a random encounter if you need something on the fly. And in the meantime, we've got something. PVTT Jabus, welcome to the stream. Thank you very much for the follow. Appreciate you. Good to have you on board. Are the streams coming? Yeah, the alerts are coming up on stream. Yes, they are. I just saw that. Good. Just want to make sure that's working. Want to make sure people get their props. Welcome to the Checkmates. Thanks for joining us. You're part of an amazing community of tabletop aficionados, video gamers, and just generally good people all around. So welcome aboard. We're doing some digital map making today. If you've seen, then yeah, we're just wrapping up this one, I think. I don't know. What do you folks... what are you feeling here? Anything else that this needs? What would you all like to see here? I don't think we have time to jump into another map. Some more mappage, so we'll probably call it. Probably call it right there. I'm happy with this, though. This looks good. We'll save it. And then the next step, of course, is we'd export this as a JPEG and then import it into Roll20 or your map of choice. Of course, it won't carry the animations, but it'll look pretty fly. Maybe a bit more runes to the west sort of lead into it. So as it gets shoved into Roll20, there you go. See, I was anticipating your question. Yeah, so we just exported out. I like that idea, 902. We do. I built the runes originally in a first program, a start program, where I built the base called Flowscape. But let's see what we could do with some other little ruins here. Let's see. We want to. Let's try. What happens if I just type wall? Okay. Oh, a lot of walls. A veritable F-ton of walls. Let's see. What do we got here? Ruin walls. Let's see. Looks good. Oh, here's a nice one. A ruined wall end. We can do something like that. I have no idea how this is going to work, but we'll play with it. We'll see. It's a little funky. I think I'll pick one and stick with it, don't I? And there is a way to do anchors as well, but I don't know how to do that. Oh, that's pretty cool. That works. The only thing is that we baked the kind of limited by the trees and such because they're baked into the background. I mean, that one doesn't really fit, does it? These are cool, though. Scale these down a bit. Ever so slightly. some other ruins here. Let's see, do we have a... How do I do... There is a way to do a circle. I don't remember. Oh, that's all right. Ooh, that's all right. That's not right at all, is it? Shapes. Thought you said Roll20 did WebM. Oh yes, yeah. So yes, so you can with Roll20 now you can upload video files up to 10 megs and it will convert them. The problem I've had so far is when it converts them, the quality is just shit. So it seems to convert the MP4s into WebM. Yeah. Just like anything else, you just upload it. The other thing too is it literally, no joke, I tried it about 4 or 5 times and I thought it was broken, but it literally just takes like hours and hours and hours to upload that file. To give you an example, when I was still in the freemium version, I had a 5 meg upload limit and a really small storage limit, as you know, with the free version of Roll20. So with that, I started uploading a 4.5 meg MP4, and I think I started at 8 o'clock in the morning. I left it running, and it didn't finish until about 3 p.m. So literally, it took so long. And then when it finally did, it was animated. It worked, but it was like super pixelated. It was just really kind of crappy quality. So I might try it again now. I did buy a plus subscription to Roll20 just to get around that storage limit. The storage limit I had, so I have 3 gigs of storage now. So we'll see how it goes. I'll give it another shot. So does well enough to not be embarrassing or different. Yes, that's true. It still has to be good, right? Off to work, Josh. Thanks very much as always for hanging out, man. Always a pleasure having you by. Have a great weekend. Have a good day at work, and we'll see you again soon. Dana Murray, welcome, Dana. Pleasure to have you on board. Thanks for joining us today. Good stuff. Thank you. We're doing a little digital map making, talking stuff. That's trash upload. Yeah, it is. It's like I don't understand that at all, because I mean it's still 4.5 megs of video. They really need to integrate video properly, and I don't know why they're not. They need to get on it. It's really silly for Roll20 to not support that. But I hope so. Yeah, welcome, Dana. What's good? How's your day? How's your weekend treating you? Got any gaming plans this week's end? Hopefully there's some gaming, some dice involved. Something to look forward to there. Yeah, I'm going to try and just build this in. I'm just kind of ad hoc building some extra ruins by hand here. Dish the drop shadow there, make it a little more baked into the background. That's what I want to do. Darken that a bit. Change the opacity, or as I like to call it, the opass, because, you know, cool kids shorten things. Just getting on with my usual old man dribble, you know what I'm saying? Now we need to, obviously we need to add some shadow for this. What? And in doing so, just to give it some depth here. This is not, oh, that's not very pretty, is it? This is why I suck at FPS. There we go. Little like ruined hut kind of thing. Nothing too crazy. I'm just winging it here. Not much, but I have a question. Yes, please, Dana. Go ahead. Ask away. Then again, most modern maps are too done. They still from the imagination scape. Yeah, I'm with you there. I like these for encounter. That's why I only use maps like this for encounters usually, because I don't want to give too much to players, because it eventually your players will learn to stop imagining and start to thinking beyond what they see. So I'm with you there too. Yeah. But it's nice to add some ambiance to it too. Less game, more show from earlier. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, the token animations I don't really use either. Like I said, I want to give my players good imaginative tools to use without taking away their ability to fill in the blanks creatively themselves too. Danny, you said you had a question. Please, by all means, ask away. We'll try to answer them to the best of our abilities. Usually, if I don't have an answer, then someone in the community will have some good feedback for us, for sure. With Roll20, they're actually getting a physics engine in the browser and modeling rolled dice, so it's not bad. Yeah, you mean like the 3D dice? Oh, the animated dice in Monopoly, yeah. Yeah. Oh, FG, you can't disable the dice? Why not? That's weird. It's weird not to give you that choice, I think. Now, there's a way to do... How do we do these? I did crumbling walls once before, too. I clearly have to spend a little bit more time in this map and this tool. Get reacquainted. But either way, there you go. We've got our little altar in our haunted forest, our coastline, oceanside forest leading to this little decrepit, forgotten, haunted altar. Thank you very much to the community for helping build this today, for your excellent feedback, your wonderful suggestions. Like I said, the next stage in this would be to export it as a JPEG or as a video file, record it and export it as a video file for table play, or if you have a virtual tabletop that supports video animations well. So with that, we've seen the tool in action. This is going to be a regular feature for our map making streams. I'll look forward to doing a lot more with you. Dana, we've got your question. Let's head back to the bar before we answer that. Just follow me. Follow me. All right. The Dark Gnomes ended up integrating with the dwarves after their stronghold was destroyed in some sort of war. Question is, would there be a hybrid mix of the two races eventually? It's going to sound like a cop-out, but the answer is, what do you want it to be? I mean, if you're the game master in that scenario, then I think you can build the lore and the history of that however you choose. I think if the Dark Gnomes were integrating with the dwarves, I think it made sense that over time those cultures mix and there could be some intermingling there. There could be some hybrids offspring, if that's the ask, as we see with any other race or any other, I guess creature culture in role-playing games. They make sense that could happen. So if it fits your campaign and it's something that you want to make available, I would say go for it. I don't see any reason why you wouldn't want to do that. So, yeah, hopefully that's helpful. That was an easy one. I like those. What happened to Roll20 and APNG files? I don't know. PNG is heavy. You could, but it's bigger uploads. Yeah, the PNG files tend to be a little bit bigger. More storage used, bigger downloads. Oh, is there? Yeah, I don't know. Do they do those? Because the only information I could find to support that on Roll20 was that was the MP4 and WebM conversion, and GIFs. They use GIFs, whatever you prefer. Yeah, so I don't know. Some people have said they've converted their maps to animated GIFs as well, and just looped those. But I don't know. That sounds a bit janky to me. I don't know. What do you guys think? Is that something that would work? GIF is peanut butter, GIF is graphic interlace file. I know, I usually go with GIF for that reason too. But I think it's more, I'm easily influenced by what I hear more. That's always been my argument too, Shad. It stands for graphics, so it should be a hard G. But I don't know, I'm about to get into a bar fight over it. You know what I'm saying? I'm Canadian, so I'll usually adopt whatever the person who's talking to me is saying to cut through the noise and get to the what. Hope you are at the crux of an amazing weekend forthcoming, friends and family here on the Shambazzle Games channel. If you haven't done so already, throw me a follow on Twitter at Shambazzle Games. Throws beer, not my bar, buddy. We don't throw beer. Throw an empty beer mug, no problem. I'm putting GIF on there. At people putting GIF on there. On their ... Suspense. My wife is loving Diablo 3. That's a big win for me this week. We've been playing a lot of D3. LOL at the GIF comment. The GIF. Yeah, we started playing Diablo 3. I had actually played it a long time ago on PC with a friend of mine. Yeah, the story's great. Diablo story's always been pretty good. And I've been trying to get her to play with him because we really like couch co-op games, obviously. It kind of gets her into it, and we can play together. We play a lot of third-party action-adventure games, and we'll usually like hand the controller back and forth for story. We've done that with like Assassin's Creed, Witcher, Red Dead. So we play a lot together that way. But this is fun because we can actually literally play together and multiplayer co-op, which is really great. She's enjoying it a lot. We're having a good time playing it. And two of our other friends have started playing too. So we're kind of catching up to them at level 70 so we can start to play together simultaneously via multiplayer co-op. You both have phones for Jackbox games? Yeah, we do Jackbox. Yeah, we play Jackbox. Of course, I have to like overdo it. So I put it up on OBS and I share screen that into Zoom because I have to be excessive with everything that I do. But yeah, we've played a few rounds of Jackbox. But that lets me get the PS4 into actually, sorry, it's not OBS, it's Elgato Game Studio. So I cap with Elgato and then I share screen that into Zoom so we can play the full Jackbox suite, which is pretty nice. Sometimes I say I have to do everything in excess, and sometimes I say I just have to do like the most roundabout, manual, technically complicated way to do things to punish myself endlessly. Do you know, here's a fun story. When I ended my stream last time, I played a track from composers that I follow, I thoroughly enjoy, I work with, and I have their express permission to use their music in my podcast and on stream and stuff like that. I've kind of worked that out with them because I don't want to be on the wrong side of any copyright or anything like that. I guess in the time in between, they've been represented by someone. So for the last like minute, I played one of their tracks at the end of my stream, and I got a copyright flag on YouTube for it that I had to challenge. Which is crazy. It's just crazy. They're being crazy out here. Like, why you gotta do that? Why you gotta ruin my fun? Why you gotta harsh my vibe? So I'm gonna do it today with a different track from the same composers, and hopefully the YouTube copyright police will. It's not really YouTube copy. It's copyright ID. It's pretty widely used service, but we're gonna do it a little bit differently today, though. So yeah, but we're gonna do it, and that's the key. And we're gonna see what happens. if it's worth doing, it's worth making a Rube Goldberg machine for PE. That's my approach to everything. I'm like, just let me do it. It doesn't matter. I'm going to do it. It's going to work. YouTube needs to stop contradicting them. That's right. I asked for permission. I asked for permission. They made it available. So here's how it's going to go. We're going to start to play the song. And wow, that's super loud. We're going to play it extremely loudly. But there you have it, gang. I'm going to wind down another fantastic stream. Fantastic for me, anyway. I hope it was for you folks as well. Always a pleasure chatting with you on a Saturday morning, and anytime we get to hang out online, talk D&D, and just have a good time. So big ups and thanks for our new followers this week. Thanks for joining us. Googleos, MewMewV. We had 902 PE Gaming following PVTT Jeebus. And thanks very much for the host, PE. Unfortunately, I'm about to take off, but it's the thought that counts. I really do appreciate that. Of course, appreciate all of you spending your time with me this Saturday morning. I hope we kicked it off well. Great stream. Thanks for the time. My pleasure always. Dana, welcome. Don't forget to hit follow, subscribe on YouTube, your weapon of choice. Very much appreciate you spending your time with us today. As always, folks, happy gaming. Be good to one another. And we'll see you next time for another stream, talking more D&D, gaming, culture, anything that strikes you, right here on Shambazzle Games. Happy weekend, y'all.